Hello everyone, welcome back. It's now day 2. Today we're going to focus on a website called Borderland. It's a very interesting one, and it's a pretty fascinating way to look at the border between the United States and Mexico, one of the world's largest borders. Here's how we get to the website. We'll simply type in Borderland or apps.npr.org/borderland/ no period at the end, and begin. Now, as soon as we click go, you'll notice that the border is immediately a very active and alive place. In fact, they've taken averages and they've found out that every second they can figure out how many cars, people, drugs, cocaine and marijuana at least, and people have been detained. So just in the time I've been talking, 60, 70, 75 vehicles have crossed legally, about 50 people have crossed legally, 4 pounds of marijuana have been seized. No one's been caught, at least for illegal entry now, and 1 ounce of cocaine has in fact been seized. Now, when you get to the end of your time on this website, I'd invite you to go back to it. You can do that by going back to by the numbers, story 12. So, we've been here 1 minute and 4, 5, 6 seconds, and this is what happened. But you'll, of course, have been there much, much longer. So, let's look at this one. Why the border where it is? This is an interesting one for me. Or, if you wanted to, we can start on story 1. Just how people have to travel so far just to get to this simple border between the United States and Mexico. So, this is beautiful, beautiful website. The pictures are pretty heavy to load, so sometimes they don't load that quickly, but you can look through and figure out how far exactly this one woman went just to get to the border between the United States and Mexico. $15,000, one fake passport, and a whole range of countries as she comes through, all in search of the American dream. This one is a very interesting one. Fence Facts kind of talks about this is the border. And as you can see, it's 1,969 miles long. Your president-elect has said that he wants to build a wall. Right now, things aren't close to that. Only about a third of it is fenced, and you'll figure out why pretty soon. Sometimes it's not necessary. Sometimes a simple river keeps the border, and then other times there is a fence. But sometimes people own land on the United States and Mexico. For example, this guy right here, or this woman, owns land in the United States, in Texas, and in Mexico, and is allowed to have access to the land that he or she owns in Mexico because it's private property. I don't understand, or I find it difficult to see how someone could build a fence shutting off this person's private property. But that's something that your president-elect will have to figure out. The same with cattle and horses, and some of the land on the border isn't part of the United States. It's part of American Indian reservations. This belongs to the Tohono O'odham Nation, which isn't part of the United States. It's its own independent territory. But I think it's really important as you go through here to figure out exactly what the border is and looks like. Here's some stories of people. It's a video. And this is something called tostilocos, which actually looks pretty delicious. I wish we had them more often or available here in Kansas City. But you can get them if you go to a place called La Tropicana. There's one in Southwest Boulevard. There's another one in 18th Street. You can find them around Kansas City. And so now that we've been here, 2 people have been caught crossing. 500 cars have crossed. 300 people. 3 ounces of marijuana. 3 people have been caught, and 21 pounds of marijuana have been seized. And that's all just in 4 minutes. So this is the website. The other thing that you have to do is answer the questions, and they're right here. Borderland questions. So I'm going to put them up on the screen, and you'll see that they're pretty simple. Well, they're not simple, but I think you will understand them. I want you to look at these stories, and I'd like you to look at more as well. I think it's a great website. Please answer these on a Word document. You'll be using your computer to look at this, so you can just type open a new Word document, just like this. Now, of course, when I do this, I'm going to increase my view. First thing I want to put is my name, the class, the date. Well, wait, the teacher, sorry, and the date. So today is the 13th. Zoom back out. And I'm going to put the title, oops, I messed up there. I'm going to put the title of the assignment. So I'm going to call this Borderlands. Now I'm going to go back to normal view, and I'll answer my first question here. You guys know how to school loop things, and you'll school loop this to me. Now, sorry, I'm trying to figure out my computer real quick. There's also an extra credit assignment here. It's here, no more deaths. I'd like to imagine that you're writing to the president-elect, Donald Trump, and writing to the person in charge of forming his immigration policy. I'd like you to write a letter, and you can write it at the bottom of this document here, to what this person needs to know. No more deaths is a sad sight to look at. In fact, it looks at people who have died trying to cross the border while in the United States. The more you look at this website, the more you start to figure out that the border, and here, is a very, very difficult and rugged place. No more deaths often goes out into the borderland area and gives water, as they are here, to people who are dying of thirst while attempting to cross into the United States. It's actually a religious ministry of a church, but I think it's a pretty crazy thing to look at, and a very important website for people who are in power to look at. Now, there's plenty more photos here. You can click on them yourself. I highly recommend you take advantage of it. But if not, it's up to you. There's plenty more photos there. Hope this helps. Again, this is how you should set up your assignment, answering each question as you go. Oops. 1, 2. Well, doesn't seem to want to work too well for me right now. 2, 3, 4, etc. And here's the extra credit project for you. Please reach out to me with any questions. And thanks. Day 2 ends here.